Merry Christmas, Chicago Bears fans. The Bears are officially back and in the playoffs. Clinched, locked, no asterisks. Meanwhile, the Lions completely face-planted on Christmas Day. The Vikings said you're welcome, and just like that, Detroit is sitting outside of the playoff picture with a meaningless Week 18 game against the Chicago Bears. You absolutely love to see it. We've got Bears heading to the Pro Bowl, but let's be real, who actually deserved it and who got snubbed? And now that ticket is punched, we're breaking down seeding scenarios and just how dangerous this team really is going into January. I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On. Joining me tonight is my good friend and co-host Bob Weiss. This is the Halas Huddle, where we have no problem basking in the misery of the Lions and Packers fans.
That's right, Bears fans. Here we are celebrating a first-place Chicago Bears team in Week 17 of the season. If you're as excited about that as we are, hit that subscribe button now. Join our growing community of knowledgeable and passionate Bears fans. And, of course, hit that like button and comment below. Let us know what you think. First up today, Rob, is the Pro Bowlers were announced. We got Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, and Kevin Byard, all Pro Bowl starters for the NFC. So, Rob, what does that say about the state of the Bears?
It's insane just how quickly they changed this interior part of the offensive line. And you know, we mentioned the misery of the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about it probably a little bit in the power rankings, but the difference that you see in the Chicago Bears interior this year, or the line as a whole, versus what it was just last year. Congrats to Ben Johnson for helping get that changed. Congrats to Ryan Poles for that 4th round pick for Joe Thuney. Look, I know he's older. I know he's on the downside of his career, but the guy just continues to just bust his ass and prove himself. And he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl again. I would assume he's going to get some all-pro votes before the season is over as well. It's just one of those things, like, to see that turnaround. This is what we've been asking for, right? Like, we've been saying, like, you got to invest, you got to build up that line. And I give Ben Johnson a lot of that credit, right? Because he came in and made that change, and you're seeing the difference here in Chicago versus what they are seeing up in Detroit with their interior line not being able to play at the same level.
Yeah, 100%. Like, great point. The Bears' offensive line was garbage last year, terrible last year, and then you kind of flip it around in one offseason. You have 2 Pro Bowlers on the interior of that offensive line, and I don't think it's much coincidence that Bears had a terrible season last year and an excellent season this year. You give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson. I need to maybe say a little bit of apology to Dan Rochar, where earlier in the season I kind of put him to task, like, who is this guy just sitting in college and all of a sudden he's supposed to turn this offensive line around in 1 year? Well, yes, with Ryan Poles and the acquisitions, with Ben Johnson and the combo blocking and everything, but give some credit to Dan Rochar for getting these players here. But just as importantly as some of these players who did make it, like, we might be the number 1 seed in the NFC, but our quarterback didn't make the Pro Bowl, right? We love our offensive weapons. None of them made the Pro Bowl. We have a player who is actually leading the NFL in takeaways, not on the roster. So how do we feel about maybe who did and didn't make the roster, what that says about the Pro Bowl selections in general?
Yeah, so the selection process, for those of you who don't know what this entails, right? 1/3 of that is done by fan voting. Look, there was a huge push by Chicago Bears fans. I don't know if bots were involved, whatever. Huge push by Chicago Bears fans that pushed all of these guys into the leading spot for the fan votes. Caleb Williams ended up being the number 1 quarterback in the NFC from a fan voting perspective, right? But that's only 1/3 of the vote. That's not how you get in. You also have 1/3 of that coming from players, 1/3 of that coming from coaches. And that's usually what ends up happening. Like, you're going to see guys who get snubbed every single year. I'm not upset with Caleb Williams not making it to the Pro Bowl. The guys that are ahead of him are having better statistical seasons. Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott. I'm blanking on who the third one is off the top of my head. Jordan Love didn't make it, and he was having a good year too, right? Very similar career season, actually, statistically, not efficiency-wise. I know people want to say that, but statistically, you're talking yards, touchdowns, stuff like that, similar to Caleb as well. So I'm not upset about Caleb not getting there. No one else stood out as far as, wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, look, Colston Loveland deserves to be in the mix for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'll give him that. But outside of that, Kyle Monungai deserves to be in that conversation. if you're going to give anyone on the offensive side of the ball that didn't get named, maybe DeAndre Swift. But again, who are you going to put him in over, right? Like it's very difficult. He doesn't have all the touchdowns. I think he has 8 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown on the year. And there's guys that have well over 10. So again, it's difficult, right? The only guy I'm upset about, the only guy who I feel like truly got snubbed is Nahshon Wright. And the reason being is, look, you mentioned it. He leads the NFL in takeaways. And I know he gets targeted a lot. And that's what a lot of people are saying, like, especially the Philly fans, because Philly's got 2 defensive backs in, right? They got Cooper DeJean, right? Who everybody loves. And they got Kenyon Marshall. Why am I
I'm blanking. I probably could have said it before you just bungled it, but
yeah.
Mitchell,
anyway,
I think.
Is Mitchell. Yes, Kenyon Mitchell, right? Okay. You look at their stats. I'm sorry. Like, you could choose either one of them and put Nahshon Wright in over them, and I can make an argument for that being the right decision, right? I think Kenyon Mitchell has maybe 1 interception on the year. He's not allowing a lot of receptions to be made. So, like, quarterback rate, completion percentage is lower when targeting him. I get all that. Cooper DeJean, look, he's not taking on your wide receiver ones because of the Jalen Johnson injury, because of the Tyreek Stevenson constantly being down. You have a revolving door on the opposite side. Nahshon Wright's been the guy who's having to take on A.J. Brown. Like, someone posted, oh, how can you let this guy in? Look at this highlight. And A.J. Brown just, like, gets the ball at, like, the 5 and then finds a way to get into the end zone on Wright. Yeah, A.J. Brown's paid a lot of money to do that, guys. Like, he is a number 1 receiver in the NFL, probably top 15 easily, that you could argue for that, right? So to use one play and say he's bad, I don't buy that. Nahshon Wright, interceptions, key fumbles, right? Strips. I mean, we're not talking just lucky hits and the ball comes out. Like, he's yanking it out, pulling it out of the Jalen Hurts' hands in the tush push, right? That was him. So again, that's the only issue as far as snubs go. He should be in. But if you want to be mad, that means coaches weren't giving him credit. That means other players weren't giving him credit. Although Micah Parsons, big shout out to him and having that tenacity to put that out there, even though he's a Packer now, and saying that Nahshon Wright got snubbed. Congratulations. As much shit talking as I do against Micah Parsons, that was a big move. I think he was in the right there. So I have one more thing to say about this, but I want to get your reaction first.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Nahshon Wright, like, it's frustrating as a Bears fan because he was so important to our success. But I think the biggest thing is what you started with, where, like, he's targeted all the time. No one's afraid of throwing at Nahshon Wright. But that being said, he made so many game-changing plays. He wasn't just like, oops, a quarterback had a misread and threw it to his hands. Like, almost all of his interceptions were spectacular. He took the ball away interceptions. He had a few forced fumbles and recoveries on top of it, but that forced fumble against the Eagles on the tush push, like, that play had never been stopped in history almost. And here he rips it out. And then, you can't say enough about that stop at the goal line against the Packers. I mean, the Bears still hadn't turned it on offensively at that point, but that was huge. So there's so many huge moments. But those huge moments shouldn't necessarily negate the rest of the game where he's targeted all the time. So I guess I understand why, these 4 other players are more highly regarded. Where I will take some exception is, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, the Cowboys had a cornerback who I don't even remember anymore, but I think he had 9 interceptions and returned like 4 of them for a touchdown. And he ended up getting all the Pro Bowl honors. I think he was first team All-Pro, but he had all the advanced stats. Said he was almost worse in the league in separation. He, all these other, said he's not that good. He just happened to make some splash plays. So did the league learn from this player who I can't even remember from 2 or 3 years ago? It wasn't Diggs. It was the other guy. It was not Diggs. I promise you it wasn't Diggs. Now I feel like we got to dig into who it was. It was not Diggs.
All right. We'll figure that out as we keep going.
Yeah. If you want to look into that. But so why isn't Nahshon Wright getting that same type of credit with all the monster plays he made? Did the NFL learn from that? Or are they just overlooking it, because Nahshon Wright was basically a practice player, practice squad player last year? But you got the name? Not yet. No, that's okay.
That quickly.
All right. But, if I can dig into it later, that's fine. But I got one. You said you got one more thing to say, and I kind of want to throw it back to you this way. Maybe it's the same thing, but we went through, offensive players, although the Bears had a very good offense, it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't, all these other things. So I get why the offensive players didn't quite make it. But Ryan Poles still without a drafted player in the Pro Bowl. So, I mean, what does that say about our general manager?
I mean, it says exactly what we just talked about. The Pro Bowl means nothing, in my opinion. Like, as much as I'm upset that Nahshon Wright got snubbed, I'm also not that upset, right? So, like, I was having a conversation with Gary Ross. I think you were in on that chat as well. Look, in the end, these are the reasons why Pro Bowls shouldn't matter when it comes to a general manager's overall resume. Because in reality, I could have argued that other players over the last few years, look, Darnell Wright played well enough. I didn't think he played as well this year as he's played in years past. He was played well enough in years past to make the Pro Bowl as a tackle. Like, there are guys that have put up statistics. Look, DJ Moore, the 1 year when he was here, and again, we're not talking draft picks, but DJ Moore, I want to say his second season here with Justin Fields, like, put up stats enough to, in my opinion, be considered a Pro Bowler. These are TJ Edwards' first season here. Like, everyone was talking about how his stats were comparable to Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith made the Pro Bowl that year. There's a perfect example right there. Roquan Smith never made the damn Pro Bowl as a Chicago Bear. What happens? He goes to Baltimore and they put him in. It's just bullshit. It means fucking nothing. I don't care about Pro Bowls. What I care about are how you play on the field, get your shit done, be a good team, and win. And that's what we're talking about here. They're winning. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So as much credit as I give to Ben Johnson earlier, look, Ryan Poles is a coach's GM. He likes to give his coaches a lot of power and authority over the players that come in here. And Matt Eberflus sucked. Look at what the Cowboys are dealing with. They just let up huge plays to the Washington Commanders, who have been complete garbage most of the season. Like, I'm sorry, Matt Eberflus is just not good. And this team has turned it around. Do I hope that it sustains year over year? I feel like this is different than what we've seen, like even going back to the 2018 Matt Nagy situation. So I think you're going to see, as the Bears get more respect, you're going to see the Pro Bowls come a little bit more, just like that 2000 early or late 2000s era for Lovie Smith. We had a ton of Pro Bowlers, right? Nathan Vasher, I think, got a couple Pro Bowls while he was here.
Yeah.
So, like,
he had, some big interception years, but I guess speaking of big interception years, it was Trayvon Diggs. You're absolutely right. It was Trayvon Diggs. And it was a little longer than ago, I thought, too, 2011, and he had 11 interceptions. So I guess it's a little different.
Well, he got his contract after that, like, and then he fell off. Yeah. But congrats and heads up to Al Harris, who was also involved with that Dallas team, who is now also involved here, who had connections to Nahshon Wright before he got here.
Getting him here. Yeah.
I am very nervous. You can tell me you can take any of these coordinators away, any of these defensive assistant or any assistant coaches away. He's the one. Antoine Randall isn't even on that tier. Al Harris is on that tier that I'm a little concerned about losing.
Yeah, I would think losing his defensive coordinator. But this is actually kind of a good segue to our next point here about, comparing it to what we had in 2018 with Matt Nagy, what it meant towards the end of the Lovie era. This is the first year of the Ben Johnson era, and we just won the division. We didn't, I guess, technically win it yet. We need to win one more game to win the division, but we're in the driver's seat of the division, possibly number one overall seed overall already. So what does this really mean for where this franchise is headed? Or is just another peak season that we're used to, and then next year we're 7-10 again?
It's not. And we'll get to the Lost Lion season here, and maybe that's the segue into, we don't have to talk too much about the playoff bound. The difference is, look, this team, the head coach isn't a guy who was behind Andy Reid, not really calling all the plays, not really just establishing your offense. And now you have a guy who is the offense, right? He is the brains behind everything that's happening here. He's not going anywhere, right? So that is definitely helpful. Dennis Allen isn't going anywhere. He's been a head coach. It failed. He is not going to be getting head coach offers because of what happened this year. It's just not. It's not the same situation as Vic Fangio, who had never been a head coach and then went on to Denver just to get that opportunity and also kind of fail. Some of these guys just will never be legit head coaches, and that's okay. So having Dennis Allen, having that consistency here to go along with Ben Johnson, this is set up for success. The other big difference, this team is young. That team was not, right? You had a lot of older veterans that came in. Even the Khalil Mack era that was here in Chicago. I mean, I want to say he was 27, 28 when they traded for him. So again, like, this is a different situation. And I think that they're peaking faster than what we expected. I said in the beginning, I didn't think they were going to win more than 9 games, but I thought they could creep into the playoffs at best. I didn't think they were a Super Bowl contender. That's all changed. They are a Super Bowl contender. This NFL season has proved any team can win. They're a Super Bowl contender.
Any team can win, and nobody wants to face the Bears right now. I'll tell you that.
No.
But as far as where this is going moving forward, I agree with everything. So this absolutely does feel different. There's a young core here still on rookie contracts. Some of that defense is on veteran contracts, and that's fine. But both of them aren't, like that young offense, and so that's terrific to build with that moving forward. But I just will, I guess, caution some of the optimism with just a couple points. One is, we've been saying it all year, the Bears are winning all these games, but they've yet to actually play what we think is their best football. And so there's the other side of that where actually this is their best football. And when some of the breaks stop going their way, so will some of the wins, right? And then very related to that, all year we're preaching that these are takeaways and not turnovers. These turnovers on defense, or these takeaways on defense, are so critical to these wins, taking possessions off the other team. But we know that from just a statistical standpoint, the odds of repeating a statistical outlier in turnovers from one year to the next just does not stay. There's no team in NFL history that has had elite turnover levels from one season to the next. So, it's possible that there might be some variance from year to year, but we got 2 games left. I'm not scared of either of these teams. These teams, 49ers and Lions, probably aren't excited about playing us. This could be a 13-3 year, which is fantastic. So next year, a couple things don't go our way and go the other way. Still a 10-7 year, right? Like, it's still possibly there. So it's just, I still do believe that this is the start of something, and we're going to stop thinking about terms of the success of the season based on the win and loss record of the regular season, and more just about how far you go in the playoffs. And that will be the more barometer of success. So I'm excited about getting there. But and just say, we go 13-3 this year, 14-3 this year. Sorry. That's what it would be. 13-4. 13-4. I apologize.
Yes.
That anything less than that next year means we took a step back. I don't necessarily think that would have to be the case.
No. And this division isn't going anywhere, guys. Like, it's still a really good division.
The division's not going here, but we also do see how sometimes easy it is to take a step back. The Lions basically have all the exact same talent, but what's missing? What's different from the Lions this year and last year, Rob?
There's 2 key things. Ben Johnson is the main one, right? Aaron Glenn, I'm sorry, you just don't cut it. You just don't. The defense wasn't playing well for them even when Aaron Glenn was there, right? They were not able to stop Washington in that playoff game. Like, it was just awful, right? Like, they just high tempo just could not stop them last year. It's the Ben Johnson effect is one. And then again, I said it already, their interior offensive line. I will say the only thing that I will be concerned about going forward with the Bears is, Joe Thuney eventually needs to be replaced in the next 2 years. So you got to get someone in here to be behind him and build behind him. And maybe it's Luke Newman. I don't know. But that would be my only concern. And to me, the only difference that we're seeing between these 2 teams right now.
That's your one concern. That doesn't concern me at all. Offensive linemen can play for a while. I think Joe Thuney's got 2-3 more years left in him. But if the way this team is being built is continued to be built moving forward, I have no worries about somebody just stepping in and kind of being fine. Like,
maybe the trainers, because the soft tissue issues that we've seen this team go through this year, that could be the downside, because that defense, look, we haven't had a healthy defense here in Chicago pretty much all season.
Yeah.
So
I will say
that could offset those takeaway issues that you had mentioned too.
I'm very curious to see if Ben Johnson kind of evaluates his role in this in the offseason. Maybe the trainers really are telling him one thing, but he's like, you know what, we cannot take the Cleveland Browns lightly. We need all hands on deck. It's important. And like, actually pushing all the chips all in on that might not always be the best case scenario. So maybe he'll push, fall back on that a little bit. But as far as the Lions go, it's one of these things that just the ups and downs of the NFL can get anybody, right? I mean, it was the Commanders this year as well too. I don't think they are that fundamentally different of a team this year from last year, but ran into injury problems with their star quarterback. And, the defense gets a couple key turnovers and key points, and they look a lot better or worse. And here the Commanders are battling for a draft position now. So it can happen, but I got to say, it doesn't really pain me too much to see the division in 3 mediocre teams and the Bears. That's a pretty good spot to be in. But I mean, it's not just being first in the division, it's first possibly in the entire conference. Now, the Athletic has it's a model, a little simulator of what's going on. And the Athletics say the Bears have a 59% chance to secure the number 1 seed in the NFC. And now I had to double check this to make sure I'm right. You in the comments, let me know if I'm misinterpreting what the Athletic is telling me. But really, if the Bears win both games, the Seahawks only need to lose 1 of their 2 games. And their 2 games are not necessarily easy. They go on the road to Carolina this week, who is playing for the division. And then they play the 49ers in week 18. Now, the one little wrench in this plan is if Carolina does not win, if the Seahawks get past Carolina and the Bears beat the 49ers aren't going to be playing for anything because they're locked in and the Seahawks are locked in. So it could just be nobody plays anybody and it'll be a coin flip. If it's a coin flip game, then I guess anything can happen. But 59% chance to get a bye? I mean, how did we get there?
Did we have any thought that would be the case going into this season? Hell no. 3 weeks ago, I never thought it was going to be an option because I never thought the Rams were going to lose that. I can't remember who they even played. Was it Carolina?
The Rams were playing the Lions 2 weeks ago.
Is that who it was that they lost to?
Oh, no, the Rams beat the Lions. The Rams lost to the Seahawks on Thursday night.
The Seahawks, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Same Thursday.
The crazy comeback. The crazy comeback game.
Yeah, and then I was like, where did the Seahawks come from? I didn't even realize the Seahawks had the same record going to that game. Like, I was so taken aback. Yeah, it's insane because I thought the Rams were like the top tier team in the NFC, like the one team that could run away with it all. And look, they lost Devontae Adams, so that kind of has brought them back down to life a little bit. But I don't know. This is insane. Let's just enjoy the ride because here it is. As far as seeding goes, look, they can be 1, 2, 3, or 7. And the chances of them being 7 are slimmer and slimmer every week. All it takes is 1 win and a Packers loss, right? And they're guaranteed the NFC North.
Right.
So
100%. Yep.
It 1 win or a Packers loss, I think is actually what it is.
1 win or a Packers loss.
Yeah. So let's watch them go beat up either the Rams or the Lions, and it's good to go. Like their destiny is in their own hands. And if they end up the 2 seed and the Packers are the 7 seed, bring on the Packers. I don't care. Let's do it again.
So I will say a couple things. One, the Packers are playing the Ravens this week, and Malik Willis has been announced that he will be starting. So there's already that potential that the Ravens are playing for a playoff spot, and Packers are in the playoffs and just need their quarterback to get healthy. So there is that part. Wow. 1 loss from the Packers. The other thing is I think I am misinterpreting the Athletic here. If the Bears win both of their games, they have a 59% chance.
Got it. Well, I guess.
Right.
But that would just require Seattle to lose.
Right.
And to your point, them winning both these games isn't a cakewalk. So that's fine. I think they probably end up the 2 seed, if I'm being honest. At worst, the 3. For them to go to the 3 seed, it means the Eagles have to win out, and I think the Bears have to lose 1, and then they would move to the 3 seed.
This is showing me now that I understand how to read this. As long as the Bears win 1 of their games, they have a 96% chance of the 2 seed.
Yeah. So again, the chances are most likely it's 2 versus 7, Bears versus Packers at Soldier Field. Bring it back, guys. I'm perfectly okay with that. 2 games down to the wire. won one, lost one. Like it to me, the chances are really high. Don't
So
forget
this
though.
also is saying
Don't
the
forget
most.
the Packers might have Malik Willis playing, but Lamar Jackson's not playing either, most likely. So 2 backup quarterbacks, one playing for their playoff hopes, the other one trying to win the division. That not likely. I'm putting my money on the Ravens.
So if things hold the way things are going, the most likely outcome for the Bears is the 2 seed, and the by far most likely outcome for the Packers is the 7 seed, and that means Bears Packers first week of the playoffs, and that's just going to be incredible.
I'm curious when my ticket prices are going to be posted.
We'll find out. That I mean, if you want to go, you want to go, but that also might pay for next year's season tickets too. If you want to go that route. So, all right, are we ready for the main course? As far as I'm concerned, my favorite part of these midweek episodes.
Yes, I will do my best.
You do what you got to do, Rob. Just have some fun with it, and hopefully, all you Halas Huddlers, you enjoy it too. Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's get into our Week 17 NFC North Power Rankings.
Coming in at number 4. This might surprise you. It's the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions just lost on Christmas Day to the Minnesota Vikings. They have a very similar record, 1 game apart, right? Look, the Lions, I said it, their interior O-line isn't working. Jared Goff had the whole entire Detroit Lions season happen to him in 1 game. 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles lost. They had lost another fumble in this game. Complete chaos. No Ben Johnson, no structure. Get out of here, Lions. You're number 4.
At number 3, we have the Minnesota Vikings. They are 8-8 once again, a season with 8 wins. I don't know how this franchise just keeps doing it, but Kevin O'Connell has righted the ship here, figured out how to win games with subpar quarterback play. And I got to tell you what, if Kevin O'Connell can figure out how to get the best out of J.J. McCarthy, we've seen flashes at it. This is a team that will probably win far more than 8 wins next year.
So that brings us to number 2. And it's the stinky Lingburger cheese that's up north in Wisconsin. It's the Green Bay Packers. You guys are not the number 1 in the NFC North. The Bears have taken the NFC North, and we're not giving it back. The Bears are number 1, and you are number 2. I don't care if it's Jordan Love. I don't care if it's Malik Willis. I don't care if Josh Jacobs can't play. I'm sorry about Micah Parsons' injury, but guess what? I'm not sorry he's gone as a Bears fan. So guess what? You guys suck. F Green Bay as always. F the Packers. Go Bears.
Which means at number 1, we have the Chicago Bears. Finally, no doubt about it, the Bears are the top team in the NFC North, disposing of the Packers in spectacular fashion, and just love to see it. Cannot wait to see what the Bears do the rest of this season. Bear down.
Fuck Green Bay.
There we go. All right, Halas Huddlers, this was a lot of fun to kind of touch base. We hope everybody had a great week. Holidays, spent a lot of time with family, some football on Christmas, which was fun. And then, still coming down from that high of that Bears-Packers win Sunday or Saturday night.
Having some spiced eggnog just to, finish out the season and feel really good about the way that this Bears season is going. It's been a fun ride.
It really
has.
It's
been fun for the show.
It really has. It's fun to just finally be sitting in the seat of the Bears are Super Bowl contender now. We can start really talking about the Bears playing in that game in February, which is just, it's still just crazy that that's where we're at.
I'm not doing, ready to do our off-season episode in mid-December like usual. And I'm still excited for the draft. I'm diving deep into edge rushers and interior defensive linemen who can get to the quarterback because that's what this team needs next year.
Yeah, 100%. They still need that. That's got to be the biggest need. But they're in a spot where you just keep drafting best player available.
That's right.
The first few picks happen to be a defensive line. Great, but just best player available. Keep that rocking.
If it happens to be another wide receiver, we can have 7 of them. It's okay.
Then DJ Moore's definitely getting traded.
That's right. I got nothing else, Bob, but I hope you had a good holiday. You already said it. Shout out to everybody who's listening, watching. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Happy holidays. Enjoy the new year. It's a new year, new you, new me, new Bears.
New Bears. That's right. All right. Bear down.
Claws up.
It's after Packers always.